Welcome to the Decide to Move podcast, helping entrepreneurs like you make smart, pivotal shifts in your life and business. Tune in each episode for inspiring stories from brilliant business minds and trailblazers to find out how they made their big moves and how you can too. Now here's your host, author, speaker, business strategist, CEO, and founder of Decide to Move, Monica M. Bijou.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to have you here with me for another episode. And so today I have with me someone hailing from the UK. I have Arn Terry that's here with me. Woohoo! Hey, Arn, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much and gratitude for having me on your fantastic podcast. I'm doing really well. Just to introduce myself, I'm a husband of 13 years, a father of 3, and my focus is I'm a business owner. I've got my international recruitment company, but more focused on my social media business, which is Freetown Mindset, and I just help people turn their passion into profit.
Oh, that's great. And you know, that has been actually the thing that is going around now, especially with the pandemic that's happening. People have gone from jobs that either they have lost due to the pandemic or have decided that, you know what, I now want to pursue something different, but it has to be something that I love. Because what I've known working in, I would say, like interviewing lots of actually millionaires, a lot of them have gone for the money and it hasn't been their passion of what they were doing, and it quickly burnt out, and then they end up like not really like kind of starting all over again, or just kind of giving up, or some even stuck with something that they did not love and it ended up getting burnt out pretty quickly. That led to some health issues. So tell me, you know, I know you want to talk about wealth, rich, and success and how people can actually take those words and discover exactly what they really mean besides just money. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey before you even started your business? What made you decide to even start helping people in that realm?
Failure, setbacks, more failure and more setbacks, and exactly what you said, chasing the money. I was continuously chasing the money and it didn't make me any happier. So just to give you a bit of a backstory, I started as a recruitment consultant 15 years ago. I then obviously progressed up to being a senior consultant, to a principal, to a head of practice or manager, etc. So everything else that came with it, obviously, bigger salary, bigger bonus, and I got up to get into a 6-figure package, and it didn't make me any happier. In fact, it just put more stress on myself, more stress on the relationship as well. So I decided about 2 years ago to give up the corporate or chasing the rat race, set up my own recruitment practice. But not only that, actually have something that I was passionate about, and that was helping people, and then helping people by getting online to create something in their own time, in their own way to start actually making money from it. So hopefully that's kind of answered the question.
Yeah, most definitely, because I think that's, you know, one of the biggest things that I've seen is that we often go for a job and we find out while we're in it. Like, I've heard people come to me, I'm just going to put it like this. They'll be like, oh my God, look at my benefit package. Look what all I get. This is super exciting. And then when they get into the job, it's like the money, it does not it doesn't outweigh the benefits of freedom or being able to balance with your life or feeling like this sense of pride or happy about what you do. You end up feeling more drained, more frustrated, hating when you go home. You're so exhausted you can't even enjoy life or the money that you're earning. You don't even have the energy to spend it. Was that something that you experienced as well?
Yeah, indeed. So it took a lot of my time away from my family. As mentioned, I've got 3 children, that they're now daughters 12, son's 10, my youngest daughter's 2.5, and it kind of took me away more from family. Whereas me and my wife are completely different in our mindset. My wife is more about just do something that will make you happy rather than going for a salary, but I've always been, no, I want to go for a big salary. So in time, we can obviously, it will help us out in the long run. But what I did wrong was just chase the money and the money only. And I think I can speak about this quite intensively, but I know this isn't going to be the focus, because I've got 15 years in recruitment, because I've put people on six-figure packages or multiple six-figure packages. I put people, contractors on £1,000 a day, £15,000, sorry, £1,000, a day to £1,500 per day, euros, dollars. I'm an international, so depending what location put it on. And a load of those people who were earning a lot of money wasn't truly happy what they were doing. They was just doing it for the money. And I've seen a lot of change going on through 2020 due to the events that we all know about. So a couple of years ago, I was looking for something how I could help other people. But first of all, I needed to help myself first, because I need to understand what I was going through. So I didn't just go out and say, oh, I want to go and help people. I wanted to help myself. What made me feel good, which was helping other people. But I really needed to understand that more. So that's when I came to creating a course and doing, the passion to profit, helping people using the spoken word, the written word, motion picture, but just use it in a fun way. Your hobby could be fishing, to dog walking, to dogs, to animals, to photography, to film, to comedy, you name it. You can put it into something, because there's allegedly 5 billion people on this planet. So of course there's going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people who are into the same hobby or the same passion as you. I'm just helping people understand that and then pushing them towards like-minded people. So that's my take on it. But as you introduced, I'm really, really keen to talk about these words that when they're said out loud, we always go to fame, fortune, finance, whatever it needs to be. And you've kindly introduced it, which is the word wealth, and the word success, and the word rich. So I do coaching as well. So when those words come to mind, and I feel the reason why people are unhappy as well is I feel that we're kind of tricked in society, media, that when we use these words, rich, success, we automatically are pushed into thinking it should be a financial gain. But the way I see it and the way I educate people is wealth. Think about the word of wealth. Is it could be knowledge or experience. I have a wealth of knowledge. I have a wealth of experience. I have a wealth of understanding. We need to use these words and think about these words in a different way. We need to kind of reprogram our mind or rewire mind, whatever you want to call it. When you think of wealth, just don't associate it to money. When you think of rich, don't just associate it to money. You can be rich in life, rich in joy, rich in health. And then also when it comes to success, when people think of success, again, people think about, the business owner who's driving a fancy car or being chauffeur driven around, to having, multiple 6-7 figure business. But to me, keeping it very simple, everyone can be successful. Just listening to your podcast show now, they can make themselves successful within seconds. And the simplest way for me is to make yourself successful is happiness. If you're happy, you're successful. So what I always say to people is happiness is success. Success is happiness. So breaking that down a bit more, and you can interject if you want to.
You're fine. I'm just listening. I often enjoy listening to my guests because I learn stuff too. And so for me, you keep going. So.
Yeah, thank you, gratitude. So breaking that down as well is when people have a plan. Say some people listen to your podcast show now, and they're saying, right, okay, I feel inspired to do something. I know what I want to do, and you've got a great idea. The first thing fundamental mistake that people think about is how much money that business could make or should make or will make. And then you keep thinking about the money. But when you're writing your goals down, because I'm all about goal setting, writing down what you want to achieve. And there's nothing wrong about putting a financial goal there. But what about your mindset goal? What about your spiritual goal? What about your health goal? What about your relationship goal? So that's why I believe so many relationships break down, or why people become ill, overweight, underweight, because being unhealthy doesn't mean that you're overweight. You can be underweight as well. So when people are on the journey to triumph, the journey to have the perceived success, as we call it, we need to really be thinking, okay, what are the fundamental things that I want in my life? Now, the three main things that people talk about is obviously finance, health, and relationship. So why do we always miss those two other fundamental things? So when you're starting your business, you've obviously got a relationship. So you may have a wife, a husband, a fiance, partner, children, niece, nephews, uncles, mum, dad. Why are we not putting that to the top of the list and saying, this is what I'm also going to work on as well? I'm going to work on my relationships with key people within my community. Again, if you're someone who doesn't have a family, it could be a community of people that you're around. It could be your neighbor. It could be, someone that you're not spoken in a while. So we need to be putting these key features down on there, saying, right, okay, what I want a wealth of good people around me. I want a good wealth of people who have got my back and will have my back. So we should be focusing on the relationship. Also the health as well, because you could be in the prime health as what you are now, and many times I'm sure you've seen it, you've interviewed millionaires and multiple business owners out there as well, where they've probably started off in a good health, but as they've gone into the business and progressed more into the business year after year, it takes that toll on the body, on the mind and the soul. And that's really because they've not set the goal to keep the health, is as focused as a wealth, because again, the wealth always goes to the top and everything else gets pushed down. So anything simple like sleeping, breath work to meditation, whatever it is, just going for a walk, taking the dogs for a walk, or just having time for yourself, that always gets missed out. So this is why I feel it's really, really important, and this is why I was so keen to get onto your show and have this discussion, because I know there's so many like-minded people on your show who would obviously pick up on this, that when we're thinking about wealth, success and rich or riches, let's please kind of change the narrative on there. Let's give ourselves a mindset tweak, a mindset hack, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that we're not just thinking about the financial gain for it. Yes, we do need the finances to get the things that we need, because it's very important. But what is more important to me anyway, and hopefully to everyone, is your health. You can't spend it. You can't go anywhere if you haven't got the health to go there. And especially what's going on now with the pandemic and saying you may not be able to travel if you've not got X or Y vaccination or whatever is going on. It just shows if the health isn't there, then you get restricted in different ways.
I really appreciate you going through that, Arn, because it is so true. For me, like personally, having a lot of medical stuff that happened this year, none of it was really, based on stress or pandemic or anything else like that. It was kind of genetic stuff. However, it was because of the way that I handled and took care of things. Everything came back successful. Everything came back with a clean bill of health. And I'm able to heal better compared to me allowing myself to stress and focus on money. And I mean, I've had to take time away where I had to change, reprioritize, and make several pivots in my business and the way that I did things, but it actually worked out better because what I often, thought was super important, or what other people thought was important. And that's what we do, right? We put our own opinions and values on other people. I actually literally was able to get back to who I was, to stay focused on who I am, and pivot things in a way that made sense to me, simplify things, and to make sure that my health was super huge and important. It was number one, and that I was not allowing myself to get put in that situation where I was focused on money or focused on everything else but my health. And so you're absolutely right. Health, and especially with the pandemic, with so many people getting sick, it's health is so huge and important. Really getting back to the foundation of who we are as individuals, inside and out.
Yeah, indeed, and there's so much more as well. What when you kind of starting the entrepreneur journey as well, or a solopreneur, however you want to call it, or what size your business is, or you could be a big, you may have a multiple international business at the moment. You want to scale it even more. No matter what level or stage you're at, we really, really need to be key on what's around us and our health and our mindset as well. So personally, for myself, I like to do breath work, meditation, and visualization as well. Just like what you're talking about, so you know yourself, you know what you're going to do. So one of the major things for me, and if just pausing for a second, because I'm just smiling now. If I was my 10-year ago self listening to me now would just be laughing and saying, there's no way I'm going to be speaking like that, or these words will not be coming out of my mouth. That is just crazy. But it's interesting when you wake up. And again, it doesn't have to be, it's not age related. It's just depending when you actually wake up and you realize what's important to you. And so I just had to pause and smile then, because I'm just thinking 10 years ago when there's no way I would meditate or focus on my breath. It was just, no, just go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'll rest when I'm dead. I'll rest when I'm dead. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That kind of mentality. But now it's kind of focus on the first thing is what I do in the morning is gratitude. So when I wake up in the morning, my feet do not come off my bed onto the carpet until I have given thanks and gratitude. So it can be your own personal gratitude, whatever it fits for you. But for me, it's very basic. I'm grateful I'm alive. That's the first thing. I've actually woken up. Unfortunately, many people not waking up the next day or the next minute or next hour. And to as simple things like having my wife next to me, having a beautiful home, having 3 beautiful children, having a bed, to having running water, flushable toilet, simple things like that. So I always start at least 20 minutes with gratitude, then with breath work before I get out of bed. And then again, depending on time as well, I'll do my visualization in the morning, just visualizing how I see my days going to be. And how it's going to repair, and I kind of throw in some Easter eggs in there. And what I mean by that is, like, I have a little toy and game with myself, like something phenomenal is going to happen today, and I'll just throw it in there and I'll will it to happen. And sometimes it actually has, which has been really, really cool to play with. So that's how I start my morning. It's with gratitude. It's with some people may call it prayer, praise, appreciation. And then just going throughout the day as well, meditation, breath work, always making sure I'm conscious of my breath. Again, depending on what level people are up to in terms of if I take this on board or not. It's really, really important to focus on your breath work, and a very simple thing to just get people's mindset, to tweak people's mind and just make them think, yeah, of course. Is just think everyone knows someone who's given birth, or you've seen it on TV. What's the first thing you always hear the doctors, nurses, partners say? Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. The reason they're not saying this by accident, and this is going through all history of mankind, because when you focus on your breath and you can control your breath in the manner that you need to for rhythm, is it can help with stress and trauma. Taking it to panic attacks, people suffering from stress and anxiety. Again, when someone's having a panic attack, what do? You grab that paper bag for someone and you get them to focus on the breath work, or you just tell them to focus on the breathing, Same thing. So what I believe is the reason why we get to that point of having that meltdown, panic attack, breakdown, whatever it is because we're not in the now. we're not in the present with our breath work. So if we're constantly getting, I'm getting that, this year's been a challenge for me, and it's been a challenge for so many other people. And I truly, truly believe we wouldn't be speaking in terms of, I don't think I would have been not confident enough, but I feel maybe been kind of, myself would have broken down if it wasn't for my breath work. And when things haven't gone my way, just going away, breathe, hold my breath, breathing for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out slowly for 5 seconds, and do 5 to 10 repetitions of that, and just do that on a daily basis. So the breath work to me is so important, which again brings it back to your mindset, brings it back to your mind, brings it back to your focus. So if anyone, and I'm sure there's people listening to this show who are going through challenging circumstances, I would say the first thing you can do, if you don't meditate, don't think about meditation. Don't think about meditate. Just think about your breath. Think about your breath work. That's the first thing to start with, because that's, really keeping it plain and simple. That's what meditation is. And just focusing on the now, on the present, like you are sat down or you stood up, and just be still. So these are the things that I'm putting another course together, actually, more about kind of mindset and focus and spirituality, because I think more of this needs to be out there. So that's just my thoughts on breathwork and mindset.
Yeah, it's so funny because as I was listening to you, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly my routine. Like, I start with a visualization, and then I end my day with tapping, because, like when you're getting ready, so like I'll visualize what my day looks like. And for me, like, I'm going to go back to success. For me, success, even the small things, I'm happy when I can say I accomplished at least one thing in the day. And I start up by visualizing my day, completing certain tasks, completing certain things, injecting certain things of my outcome. And I can tell you that it actually works, because when you visualize something, you're tapping into the part of your brain that needs that to pick up on, right? We have the side that's very logical, that needs a to-do list, a checklist, but then you need the side of your brain that needs to be able to visualize it, to feel it, to sense it, using all of your 5 senses to actually say that this goal has been accomplished, that I'm accomplishing it. So you can feel it, see it, believe it, all those things, then you actually can achieve it. And you've heard, I'm sure people have heard people say that. And then at the end of the day, when I'm like, oh my gosh, did I do this? I just do some tapping. And then from there, it's kind of like that little acupuncture. Tapping is something that anybody want to know more about. We can actually definitely do something on that, but it literally helps ground me. And that becomes like my ritual of how I do my day, in order for me to be able to do all the things that I do. Because I often have people ask me that question: how do you accomplish all the stuff that you're accomplishing? It's, simple and easy, because of the fact that I limit myself on what I'm going to do. I don't overwhelm myself with stuff too much. I'm not chasing the dollar. I'm chasing, I would say, helping people is what I love to do. Having my podcast. So I look at the things that really is understanding my why, what I want to focus on. I visualize, set my agenda for the day. I visualize it, and then I just do it and let it happen. And I don't actually beat myself up over anything like mistakes or anything else like that. It's kind of like we have to just be real with ourselves and allow ourselves, like you say, to just breathe, be in the here and now, and not allow ourselves to get overwhelmed on stuff that is kind of like later on you realize is irrelevant.
Indeed, and I love you mentioned tapping as well. I would say I'm a very I'm a novice stage at the moment. I hang out on a site called Gaia.com. So it's anything to do with, if anyone's not familiar with it, it's anything to do with spirituality to meditation. It's all guided meditation, and it's basically like-minded people to do with nutrition, balance, health, wealth, spirituality, to all other interesting stuff. Way to the far out UFO stuff. So it's basically like having a Netflix account, but more on the spiritual side. And Tapping was one of the shows that was on there. Which was a kind of, well, more of a guided documentary or guided content, and I actually tried it, and it's weird and it's really good. So that's one thing that I'm getting into a bit more now. So yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, which was I wouldn't even thought about that. So yeah, I have tried that as well, which is fantastic. And another thing as well, just to add on what you said about the entrepreneurs or the budding entrepreneurs, from the 9 to 16 years of age as well. They can see it as well in terms of, I feel when you get to the adult age, a lot of your imagination, the dream, is actually kicked out of you by your boss, your manager, the company, because you've got to conform into their way of thinking. And if you don't conform, then you're seen as a bit of an outsider. So, and I've just lost the trail of thought, but basically, our brain doesn't work in the way of the unknown. We like to be in the known side. So when we go into the unknown, that's why there's so many people that don't want to go into the starting the business or doing something for themselves, because it's the unknown. Our brain likes to basically be in the known. So that's why we like to be and hang around with people. We like to be in groups. We like to be part of something. Whereas sometimes when you see these geniuses who have created empires, when you go back to them being a child, they're always the kind of the oddball, the one that didn't want to be in the group, or they just want to do something different, because they're happy being in the unknown rather than the known. So that's a kind of leap of faith that we need to, or controlled leap of faith that we need to get into. And I've just recently, in fact, done a YouTube video. I can't remember what the title was as well. It's something like believing in what you can't see. So I'm sure, again, a lot of people listening to this show have heard the saying, I'll believe it when I see it. And that, unfortunately, is a wrong mentality if you are a creator or want to be a creator, because obviously you're not going to see, say, for example, if you was thinking about you've got a laptop or a computer, and you were sick of using your D-pad on your laptop, and you wanted to have a mouse that wasn't controlled, that wasn't wired up to your laptop. And we're talking about wireless mouse, by the way. But this has never been created before. So how can you believe in seeing this if it's not been created? So we need to realize that it starts here first. So we need to believe in here. So once you believe in here and you've created it in your mind, because once you've created, you know what it's going to look like, you know how it's going to, let's just call it the proof of concept stage or the concept stage. And you've got the concept in your brain. So that's where we need to be. We need to believe in the product before it's been created. Before, if it's a digital product, before the digital product has been created. If it's a physical product, before the physical product has been created. We really need to believe in that and believe in ourselves before this physical thing then actually hits the shelves. So again, that's another thing that anyone that wants to create something or looking to create something, don't be put off by the thought in your head saying, but I don't believe in myself until I see it. It has to be the other way around. And again, there's a lot of things that are teaching us the wrong way in society to, my thought is to keep us dumbed down so we're not all creators. Because if you think about it, there will be upside down if we all just woke up at the same time and said, I don't need to be in this 9-to-5 job or this 9-to-6 job or this working nights or working crazy hours. I can actually create something for myself. I can do this myself. But I'm not telling people to go and quit the day job. What I am saying is start with a passion or a hobby. Start doing something within your own time frame, and then if it starts to bring in some money, then you think about maybe switching path.
Yeah, and talking about passion, you actually say, say that part of your business is teaching people how to turn their passion into profit, and especially from a social media standpoint. Do you have mind going into details about that? Like, what are some things that you suggest people do?
Yeah, so very simple. I talk about initially about the about the written word being so powerful. So I start off basically about blogging, because not a lot of people are confident, obviously having a podcast show, or jumping straight into something else, maybe YouTube video. So I say start off with blogging first. So let's say, well, put me on the spot actually. Throw me a passion, anything that may be obscure, or one of your passions or something, or one of your hobbies, and then I can see if I can build a kind of quick product around it.
Oh, well, for me, I'm actually already doing my passion, what I love to do, and it is part of my business. So let me think of something else. Like, speaking of that, one of the young moguls, she actually has two passions, and she turned one of her passions into a business in order to support her other passion. And I'm like, wow, that is phenomenal to do that. Like, go for, she loved to cook. So she started a little like sweet shop. And then from there, that's supporting her performing arts business. So I mean,
fantastic. So let's talk about cooking then. So let's talk about, because a lot of people have been affected who maybe want to open a small restaurant. Definitely in the UK anyway. If you want to open a small restaurant or some sort of eating service, because we're in lockdown, we're out lockdown. Are we in lockdown? How many people can be seated with each other? No, we're not. Yes, we are. So let's change it in a different way. You've got a passion for cooking. So what I would be saying, right, okay, first thing you're going to do is you're still going to cook, but we are not going to open a physical store. This is all going to be digital online, but you are not going to be selling anything. What you are going to do is you are going to be cooking, taking pictures of what you've cooked, and you're going to be writing about it, you're going to be blogging about it. So you're going to talk about say if it's African cuisine or West Indian or Indian or Italian or whatever it is, you set up your blog name. Again, this is what I go through on my digital products, or show them how to set up your blog, how to create your title. And this one be, let's say, again, my parents from Africa, so let's say African cuisine. And so you will then interject and say, actually, it's time to be talking about African dishes. I've got a day job. Are you crazy? I can't be blogging doing all this. So I show them that time is what I help you save or get back. So I teach you, or should I say, I provide you a numerous amount of article sources, which you can take the article, as long as you reference it back to the source, you can use their article, their blogs. So I say, okay, you should be doing at least a blog a day. But I help them with the art of scheduling. So for anyone that's not familiar with scheduling, it's just obviously creating something in the day, but not releasing it till a week later, just like any of your shows on Netflix or whatever it is that you watch. Has all been recorded months ago, maybe last year, but it doesn't come out for another few weeks or months. So this is what I help people do, which is create a blog a day. So you're talking about that product every single day, and then you would go onto YouTube, and then food is pretty much easy to find on YouTube. So for me, I'm blogging about African cuisine, so I'll show them how to go into YouTube, take the video from YouTube, and then embed it on your blog. It's very simple. Literally, if you can click a mouse button, you can do it. It's that simple. I walk you through it step by step, and you embed the video on there. So what I'm basically doing initially is social proofing, because someone will be jumping in and saying, well, how can I make money from this? I'm like, well, hold on. First of all, we need to get some meat on the bone first. We need to create this blog. So you're doing a written blog a day and the YouTube post a day. So that's 2 posts a day. Over the space of a week, that's 14 posts. Over 2 weeks, that's 28. Over a month, you're doing like 56 posts. So your blog by then looks really professional, about the same product, about that's your niche, about the same bit. But obviously you can put your own words on there as well, your own food on there. It's just for people if they don't have any time. You can obviously go to an articles and get the source from there. So then what I'm going to show you to do as well is I'm going to show you to be an Amazon associate. If this is where affiliate marketing comes in. So then once you've signed up to being an Amazon associate, you're going to go and get anything from like cookery books or utensils, so obviously us Africans, we love our big pots and cooking and stuff like that. So you're going to put big pots on your blog. So on the side of the banner, hopefully people with me here. So the side of your banner is going to look really professional. It's going to have links to Amazon. So as soon as someone clicks on that link, they go automatically diverted to Amazon. On their site, you don't do anything. You just get paid when someone makes that purchase. So you don't get paid on the click, you get paid on the purchase. And the great thing is they don't even have to purchase that book or that pot or whatever it is. They can go and buy the new PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox Series X through your link. And as long as they've gone through your link, you get paid. And then you start passing like a WhatsApp message to all your family, because everyone's in the WhatsApp group, and you say, guys, I'm not asking you to buy anything from me, but all I'm saying is when you go into Amazon, you make a purchase, just please click on my link and make whatever purchase you want to make on Amazon, and then you get paid from it. So I teach little things like that, and then it goes into YouTube training, creating a YouTube channel, and then, as they call it, cross-pollination, which you put in from information from your YouTube to your blog and vice versa, and then onto other platforms as well. So that can be done in no time. So you could be earning, again, this is what I'm saying. It needs to be a passion, because the reason why it needs to be a passion is if you're chasing the money, this will not work for you, because this isn't something that's going to give you, $10,000, $20,000 overnight. It's going to take time to build up that social proofing. But then the strong part of it is when you create your YouTube channel and you start posting and documenting on YouTube constantly. Who knows, a network may find you and sign you up to do something, or have your own cookery channel or cookery program via YouTube. YouTube at the moment, people aren't utilizing it enough, because again, for people that aren't aware, YouTube is a search engine. And it's the largest search engine, the second largest search engine in the world. The largest search engine is actually Google, and Google own YouTube. So to me, it's a no-brainer. But it takes time. It takes dedication. Well, in fact, no, it doesn't take too much time. It's just more focus and repetition, and then you just keep it up, and that's how you turn your passion to profit.
Wow, that's great. And I appreciate you taking someone through that. So honestly, if anyone is really interested in understanding and want to connect with Arn, this is your opportunity to pull out a pen and paper. And then, of course, if you miss it, you can always check in the show notes. How can people actually connect with you and follow you?
So my name is simple. So there's not many Arn Terrys out there in the world. So literally just Google my name and you'll find me. But the easiest, I would love people to check out my YouTube channel. So if you go into YouTube, just type in my name, Arn Terry, or my company name, which is Freetown Mindset. So I'm on the usual platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whichever platform you prefer to be on. Just the easiest way is connect with me on whichever platform you prefer to hang out on. So whether that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, get me on that, and I'm happy to have a 30-minute consultation with you, just to give you some ideas, information. Or if you cannot wait and you're just like, damn, I want to jump onto this course straight away, just go and type in freetownmindset.com, and that'll take you straight to my online digital course.
Sounds good. I really appreciate that. And all the information is definitely going to be in the show notes, so that way people can find you, connect with you. It has definitely been a pleasure talking with you, and you've given us so much great information and so many juicy nuggets. Is there any last words that you want to say to our listeners and those that are viewing us via YouTube?
Yeah. So again, if you're looking to create something, my thought is digital online and digital. And I'll leave you with a quick thought. So again, I did another YouTube video about how to be a billionaire and not own anything. So think about YouTube. The owners of YouTube are billionaires. They don't own anything. The owners of, the creator of Facebook, what does he actually create? What physical product? Is a billionaire. The owners of Airbnb, the owners of, I've forgotten the other place now, but Airbnb, they've got no real estate or they've got no hotels, but the billionaires, the owners of, LinkedIn, it's all digital. All these companies are providing all digital products or digital solutions, and the billionaires. So if you really, really want to embrace something right now, it's look for something that can be online and digital, something that can be packaged, and can be not be shut down due to the pandemic or anything else that comes in the future. So embrace online, embrace digital, and don't care what anyone else thinks. Do not care what anyone else thinks. It's none of your business what anyone else thinks. If you're thinking, should I, could I, would I, what's he going to say, what's she going to say, what's my partner going to say, it's none of your business what they think. Do it for you and be happy.
And on that note, I will definitely say thank you so much, Arn, because I can't even add anything on that. All I always tell people, you shouldn't should on yourself. That is basically it. So thank you so much, Arn. Thank you so much, listeners and viewers, for following me and listening and joining us for another episode of Decide to Move. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Decide to Move podcast with Monica M. Bijou. If you are ready to make a pivotal shift and take your destined position in the world, then schedule a free discovery call by going to www.decidetomove.com. For all links mentioned in today's show and to listen to previous episodes, go to www.decidetomovepodcast.com. And remember, we've all been delivered rotten fruit in our past. We can choose to chew on the rotten fruit trying to convince ourselves it's what we want, or we can become the fruits of our labor and create an incredible, fulfilling, and inspiring life and business out of it. You have what it takes to create the life you want.